So hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I thought I'd drop in here and we will talk about season 2 of Daryl Dixon because it's finally September, meaning it's finally Daryl Dixon, the Book of Carol. What is it? The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, the Book of Carol month. That is the longest show title. Before we get into all of that, man, it has been such a crazy busy few months for me. And I don't really do check-in videos anymore like I used to. I used to do like chatting videos with you guys. I'll timestamp if you guys want to skip all this because I know when I'm watching videos sometimes I don't like to watch stuff like this. I'm like, I don't care, get to the point. So I'll put a timestamp to when the video starts. But for those of you who do give a shit, my god, what a few months it's been. Patreon's been going really good. I'm still going strong over there. I'm starting to film reactions again, I think next week. And in the month of October there's going to be a film reaction for a horror film every single week. So every Tuesday movie reactions go up over there. And we're going to be doing like a spooky Halloween week. What the fuck? I'm continuing on over there with X-Files reactions, The Vampire Diaries reactions, Star Trek reactions, Handmaid's Tale, True Blood, Angel, and I recently started reactions for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've been missing my superheroes, and it is filling the void nicely. The extended versions of any of the Daryl Dixon reactions are also going to go up over on Patreon once they start back up again. But yeah, the last few months have kind of sucked. I think I mentioned it in a post somewhere. Was it on YouTube or Twitter? I don't know, somewhere. My grandfather passed away, and then my grandmother passed away. And then somebody else in my... Do not thumbs up that! Oh, computer, are you mocking me? And then someone else in my family had a heart attack. They're okay. They're okay. But like, oof, it's been a rough few months. So I'm happy that I'm getting some kind of like comfort back in the form of Daryl Dixon, the show. I love it. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the title. I said that originally when the title was released. I'm like, I guess it's smart to like compartmentalise it. Each season is its own kind of thing. Or we're putting the theme of the season in the title. Season 1 was just Daryl Dixon. Season 2 is now Carol. I like that, but weird title. I can't even remember the title half the time. But yeah, getting back to like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, anywhere you can find me is in the description if you want to check me out on other socials. I'm also so happy with how the interview videos are going. You guys know I love doing interviews. I love doing chatty videos with people that have been part of projects that I really like, that I really enjoyed. So, oh my god, I've got to talk to 2 people from Supernatural so far this year. I got to chat with so many different people. I got to interview with Sad, interview with the vampire, which is like my love. That show is my love. I've said it I don't know how many times. That show is one of the best TV shows I think I have ever seen in my life, ever. And I know it's strange to say that at the start of the Daryl Dixon video. Prince is like kind of judging me. I do love Daryl, but oh man, interview is just incredible. If you haven't seen that yet, you've got to check that out. But yeah, I've been so happy with how those interview videos have been going. I hope to continue them. I'm going to continue them, but it is hard getting yeses and getting like the attention of people. But thank you for the love and the support on those videos. Let's talk about Daryl Dixon, Book of Carol. Computer, if there was ever a time to do a thumbs up, that would have been it. Thank you. And I have notes because I have things to say. So season 2 is out on the 29th of September. I think they announced that they're going to be doing some convention circuits. I think Paleyfest was announced that some of the cast are going to go to that to promote it, and it just feels so good. I love it. It reminds me of like the older days of The Walking Dead, where every year, you know, they'd be at San Diego Comic-Con and they'd be at New York Comic-Con. So hearing that the cast is going to take to some conventions, or at least at convention, is great. Something that's crazy to me though is they're already filming season 3 when season 2 hasn't even come out yet. Now I think they filmed season 2 and 3 back to back, because I know when season 1 was released they were already filming season 2. So they've just been... The cast of that show must be so tired. Like, especially from Norman's point of view, The Walking Dead ended and my guy has just never stopped filming. He never got a break. He straight away did season 1 of Daryl, then 2, and now he's working on 3 already. At least Melissa got somewhat of a break because she wasn't in season 1. At the same time though, yes, that's how you do it. I've said this so many times about shows like nowadays, especially... This new model, and I get it. I know that the writer's strike kind of like messed everything up a little bit and the timelines have gone a bit wonky, but putting out a season of a show every 2 or 3 years, it's crazy. It's not sustainable. People aren't going to care. Even if you have an absolute lightning in a bottle TV show that captures everyone's attention with season 1, by the time you put season 2 out in 2 or 3 years, are people going to care as much? I don't know. And I guess they're aware of that, and then that's why they're doing the filming back to back, so they can be constantly working on a season and putting out a season. So I already did a trailer reaction, which is a few videos back on this channel, but like, just to summarise, there was a lot of points that were made in the trailer that kind of, yeah, it hints at what's going to happen in the season, but without really telling you anything. Because visually, We don't see a move from France, I don't think. You see, I think it's the Louvre, you see them hanging up the Mona Lisa somewhere, which I love, because as a hoarder, which clearly I am, if the apocalypse were to happen, you could be damn sure while everyone else is like looting food and supplies and smart people things that you need to live, I would be gone into toy shops, I'd be gone into game shops to pick at the loot and the pretty things that I want to display in my room. And that little fucker that we saw hanging up the Mona Lisa, I relate to him. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, because there would be art looters in the apocalypse. Why am I getting so into this point? You know, if the apocalypse did happen, I might even pull a Daryl. I might get my ass onto a boat, find my way onto a raft, paddle myself all the way to Georgia, which is going to be quite a challenge considering I don't think there's any water around Georgia. But you can paddle a boat on land with enough determination. I would drag my ass, row my ass all the way to the windmill. The Walking Dead windmill. Or the wall, maybe. And I would just take it home with me. I'd put the whole fucking windmill back into the boat and away I go back home. And I'd be like, mine now. Actually, did I tell you guys about the jar of dirt? I don't think I did. I got this jar of dirt on I think it was the Woodbury shop. Oh my god, my ring light is just not wanting to show it. Look, it's dirt from the windmill. I spent money on a jar of dirt. And I was so happy. It still makes me happy just to look at. But that's the windmill that I'm planning to rob, if anyone cares. But there's a line from Isabel at the start of the trailer that caught my attention, because she says there's sometimes like a change of scenery can make you look at things differently. And I think that's going to be very much what this season is. That Daryl has like been reset. You know what I'm saying? His whole thing was he wanted to find Rick. He set off to find Rick. He was going to find Rick. My poor baby didn't know that Rick is off living life large with his woman. He's living it up over on The Ones Who Live. But like, I think it's very much the thing of when you leave home is when you realise how much you miss home. If you have a happy, good home life. And I think Daryl he spent a lot of season 1 homesick. Missing the people, missing the places, missing like where he belongs. He did find a sense of belonging somewhat with Isabel and Laurent. Clearly, because he decides, he tells, does he say it in the trailer? He says something along the lines of like, you know, we've been thinking that we should all go back to America together. So Daryl has found a way to blend this newfound family into his own older family. But I think it made him look at a lot of people differently, and the people that he missed, particularly Carol. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to be like the whole cornerstone of this season is Carol, who is now a pilot. From the trailer we saw her flying her own plane. She was like, fine, there's no flights, I'll just make my own. Oh, the airports are down? I'm going to fly. Even though I'm pretty sure her co-pilot is like an actual pilot and he's the one flying the plane. Something I found really interesting about this, we got to touch on this because I'm pretty sure I did in the trailer reaction as well, but we have to talk a little bit more about it, is the marketing surrounding Daryl and Carol, right? It's no fucking secret. They are a ship. People love to ship them together. They love the idea of them getting together. People have been shipping them back since day one. I can see why. Personally, I don't ship it, but I can understand why. You know, there's so many parallels between their two characters. They understand each other in a way. They've... there's no words in my head. They've interacted with each other on deep levels that we haven't really seen from other people in regards to those two characters. I get why people ship them. Personally, I loved the idea of Daryl and Connie together. But since Daryl has just gone European, I'm guessing that's not going to happen. For fuck's sake. I would like to see Connie burrow her way to France. We've already seen boat travel, we've already seen plane travel. Fuck that shit. She should either get a submersible or like, you know, what are those like beaver things that burrow under the ground and like swim in the earth? She could do that and just pop her head out in France. Daryl would probably pass the fuck out. And I loved Carol with Ezekiel. They went through so much together. They had a family together. They lost a family together. Grief drove them apart. It was just such a... I don't know, there was something very real about the relationship, and there was something very... made you think of a couple like them. But the marketing for this season has been interesting. Let me tell you why. No, don't undo the typing. I'm going to delete all my notes, you little fuck. I feel like they've been skirting around the relationship thing, right? Because back in the day, back when The Walking Dead was airing, I feel now, I could be wrong, and I so often am, I feel like they used to kind of avoid terms for Daryl and Carol, or they'd post things about like ships and relationships and include Daryl and Carol, and then they'd post things about friendships and stuff and include Daryl and Carol. No matter what way you talk about Daryl and Carol, you're going to get into trouble anyway with someone. If you ship them, fine, you do you. Don't yell at me in the comments just because I don't. I'm being respectful. Ship them if you want. I simply don't see it. But the marketing for them so far, there's been a lot of use of the word friend, friendship. Even in social media posts, there was a post about like International Besties or Best Friends Day or something like that, and they were included in the post. And I'm like, they're really pushing the friendship thing. Now that could be a red herring to throw people if they go canon this season, then it was a red herring, obviously. If they don't go canon this season, then I'm guessing it's probably just going to be platonic forever. Because this season is the prime season to get them together as romantic partners. If you're going to put them together, you're going to finally put the rumours to rest and you're going with making it canon. This is the season to do it. Especially because we are going to get that big emotional scene where they reunite. We kind of saw it in the trailer. I presume it was the reunite scene. You've Daryl in the forefront and Carol kind of blurry in the background walking around the place like, hello. That will be the prime time to make it canon, in my opinion. And I think with the formatting of how they've been doing the spin-offs too, like The Ones Who Live is clearly romantic. It's about like Rick and Michonne. Probably my favourite fictional couple of all time. I just love those two motherfuckers so much. Do you ever see two people that are so pretty that it makes you kind of sad to look in the mirror, and then you see two pretty people kissing and you're just like, ah. Yeah, but their show was built on love and romance and like romantic love. Dead City is kind of built on spite and hate and a partnership out of convenience. Even though there's people out there that ship Maggie and Negan too, and I am like, listen, again, I am all for ship for what you want, ship who you like, ship for however long, whatever you want, but Maggie and Negan, a traumatized woman and the killer of her husband, judging you a little bit. Just a little bit if you ship that. Just a small bit. So it makes sense to me to make a show then based on friendship, because you have a show centered on romantic love. You have a show centered on platonic hate, mutual hatred, and you have a show built on friendship. You know what I'm saying? Exploring different relationships throughout each show. I could see that, like, yeah, but that's going to piss a whole lot of people off if they do go that road, because there's a lot of people like, we ride it down if they don't go canon, you know. But then again, I mean, it's been that way pretty much since day one with Daryl and Carol. You know, in my opinion, as a Daryl Dixon scholar and historian, which I somewhat am, I got fucking Norman Reedus's autograph tattooed, like, at a convention years ago. And I still get asked to this day, what is that squiggle? Is that Celtic writing? Is that OM writing? Is that your son's writing? And I'm like, yes to all. Norman, your handwriting is fucking ballsack atrocious. I've said it before, like, regarding Daryl. I really, like, if I was to see him with anyone, it would be Connie, because I loved what they had going on. But at the same time, I kind of don't want him to get with anybody. I like that he's this character that just vibes by himself, is really driven and spurred on by loyalty and love that doesn't necessarily need to be romantic. There's nothing worse than a character that only exists when they're coupled with another character, or a character who isn't, like, loved and respected in their own individual right outside of a ship. I've liked the fact that Daryl has kind of flown solo all this time. It's going to be interesting whatever way. I don't care what they do regarding the relationship stuff either way, but I have enjoyed, I don't know, I've enjoyed watching him just be a dude, just be a nice friend guy who, do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm super interested to see Laurent this season, because last season was a roller coaster for that poor child. Can't wait to see what to do with him in this season. I want to see his relationship with Daryl deepen as well, because I feel like we got a shot at the end of, we got a moment at the end of season 1 between the two of them where it was like, in my opinion, it felt kind of forced, where you have this kind of father and son dynamic, but not really. It's like found family, you know what I mean? But I didn't really feel it with the two of them. I felt it with Laurent and Isabel, but that makes sense given their backstory together that we learn in season 1. But I didn't really feel it with Daryl. Do you know what I'm saying? I didn't feel the whole Mandalorian and Grogu dynamic of this guy adopts this kid and they go on a fucking trip across the galaxies, or in this case, France. And if you don't speak French, I'm guessing trekking across France probably does feel like a trip across the galaxies. The galaxies of what the fuck is being said. Je ne sais quoi. So I would like to see that relationship deep in the season. I'd like to see Laurent and Daryl kind of level more, because we did have some moments with them throughout season 1, like I said, where you could see glimpses of it, but it just felt scripted, you know what I mean? It didn't really feel organic. That was one of my only down points of season 1, was I could understand what they were going for with Laurent and Daryl, but I just didn't really feel it. I feel like if they had more time together, if they had more development on screen together, that you would feel it. Fuck off! Not you. I keep getting notifications from Instagram about joining threads. I don't want to. I'm sick of communication. Something that's absolutely riveted me, right, is the fact that they're after announcing... Can I get this up? Oh God, I dropped... No. There it is, okay. They're after announcing the cast, or the new additions to the cast, for season 3 of Daryl Dixon, even though season 2 isn't even out yet. Which is nuts. You're promoting season 3 before 2. I don't need to screenshot anyway. You guys will see if you go onto the fucking socials. So like Eduardo Noriega, I think his name is, Alexandria Masangai, Candila Satia, oh I'm butchering these names, Hugo Arubas, and Oscar Jenda. You know, it's somebody with a non-English last name. Oh, shocknessy. It always pisses me off when people absolutely butcher other people's names, because I know the feeling. I know the feeling of having your name mispronounced and having to go, that's not even half right, okay. Yeah, but we're after getting like a lineup for... Should phrase that differently. That's a very sensitive saying in the Walking Dead fandom. We're after getting a list of new people for season 3, which is so interesting because, like I said, season 2 hasn't aired yet. They are full steam ahead with this. They're like, yeah! Season 2 is out in a month. Here's what you're getting in season 3. But in a world filled with mystery. What a weird way to phrase that. Where TV shows are held so under wraps and everything is so secretive and they disappear for 2 years and then they come back with like a 6-episode season. Isn't it a bit nice to have a show that just doesn't give a fuck in terms of keeping things secret? I think it's just fucking swell. I think it's nice. They're like, here's the cast for season 3. What happens in season 2? Don't know yet, but here's what's going to happen in season 3. I loved season 1. I did reactions for season 1. If you guys want to watch that, you can go back on my channel if you haven't already watched it. But I feel like there's something so familiar about Daryl Dixon, the show. And now that we're bringing Carol back into it, you're going to have Carol and Daryl in the show. And it just... I said this as well about The Ones Who Live. The Ones Who Live is my favourite spin-off. I said it about The Ones Who Live, that it is so unique in the way that it feels like The Walking Dead. If you kind of turn off your brain and like unfocus your eyes for a few seconds, you could be watching a new episode of The Walking Dead. But at the same time, it's so strikingly independently different from the main show. Different setting, different vibes, different colour palettes, different, you know, camera work and framing and editing. You can tell it's different by watching it, but it still feels the same. And you do get that with Daryl as well, and I think it's because we've gone international, like truly international with Daryl. He's shagged off to France. I want to see Daryl goes European. I want to see them go. I want to see Carol's playing land in Ireland. I want to see her accidentally miss France and land in Ireland in the middle of a field with nothing but, like, you know, a zombified farmer and a bunch of cows and cow shit everywhere. I want to see her walking up William Street in Limerick, the zombified version, even though what's the difference? My town is dying at the moment, by the way. If you're in or around Limerick, Ireland, you know exactly what I mean. Town, half the businesses are closing. It's really fucking sad. Again, unfocus your eyes a bit. It could be the apocalypse if you go in shopping. But anyway, I want to see her strolling down the middle of town, walking into deals, looking for some loot. I think I said it back when Daryl Dixon was announced that I do want to see, like, I want to see more places discovered and more places seen. Oh, actually, if you guys haven't seen it, I interviewed Gaylan Hurd, which, craziest sentence to come out of my fucking mouth in a while, and that's saying something. This video's been very strange. I interviewed Gaylan Hurd and I got to hear about her takes on, like, so many characters and shows and what she hopes for the universe of the show. And it was just, she's like Kirkman in my opinion. She's one of the big heavy hitters up at the top of the Walking Dead universe. So getting to interview her was like hand sweating, head sweating, nervous laughing, you know, twirling in my chair, trying to be cool while trying to keep the questions at bay, because you can only ask one at a time. You can't ask 5 questions at once, no matter how bad your mouth wants to. So that is on, it's in my interviews playlist. If you guys go onto my channel, do you know where there's all playlists and shit? There's an interviews playlist. Now, I've done like a good few this year, but Gail was one of them, and oh my god. You know what I mean? Sounded like a clicker. Wrong franchise. But I do want to see other universes, other like countries and places explored. Because like that was the charm of The Walking Dead, was the fact that the main show, it was so rooted in its place. And you'd move communities every now and again, but it was so like American, you know? And it was kind of the same with Fear, but Fear moved over, actually no, Fear moved after, was it season 1 or 2? We got pirates and all in Fear, do you know what I mean, on the waters. And Jesus, that show, I fucking love Fear the Walking Dead. But you did get to explore different places in Fear. But Daryl Dixon has the potential to do a lot, especially if they decide to go home after Carol finds himself. You could like go stop off at places on the way home. It's a long boat ride, I think, from France to America. I know a plane ride from fucking Limerick to New York is like 6 hours, and a boat has got to be slower than that. So they could explore so many places. It's, you know, even on the trail home, on the way home, they could be like, hey, do you want to see Stonehenge? I'm just so excited for this show to be coming back. I love the vibe of this one. I love how I love it. I love it. And Daryl Dixon, listen. He is the reason that I love this franchise. I started The Walking Dead. I don't know if I've told the story. I probably have like a million times. But I started The Walking Dead at a really horrendously shit point in my life. See rock bottom, dig a hole under that, burrow down a bit deeper. That's where I was. And I just, like so many other people, fell in love with Daryl Dixon, with Norman Reedus. I don't care. I'm woman enough to admit it, okay? That's what happened. But then I stayed for the show. I really started to love when his character started taking a turn. I think it was around the episode Still that I feel like I latched onto him and understood him and was like, I'll follow you to hell, my love. And I've loved watching his growth throughout the seasons, watching him get closer to the group and the characters and then pull away and then try and live on the outskirts of the communities while also being a part of the communities, you know. And Norman said it himself about Daryl, that Daryl always has this way of kind of half talking out the side of his face, looking out the side of his face at you. And I've liked watching him grow, and I love him, and he's fucking splendid. So like, yeah, I blacked out and saw heaven when it was announced that Daryl was getting his show. And I know it's gone through some changes and it's gone through some like alterations and stuff, but I'm so excited as well to see Carol back on screen because I love her. Same kind of way that I love Daryl, in terms of like I've loved watching her grow and growing with her. But Carol is so personal to me as a character, and I got to meet Melissa and just briefly be like, I love her, here's why. And Melissa is such a delight in real life. I'm so excited for this season, okay? And also, I've been going a little feral since The Ones Who Live because it's been drowsy. It's been dry. I feel like The Ones Who Live ended and we just had nothing. It's been a Walking Deadless summer. It's been a fucking suck-ass summer for me, by the way. But on top of that, it feels like the Walking Dead content has just dried up, shriveled up, and run away. The Ones Who Live was so kick you in the crotch fantastic that when it finished airing, there was a void that has not been filled yet. Right? I'm not wrong on that, am I? Yeah, nothing aired after that, did it? Well, if it did, I've forgotten about it. No, it hasn't. It hasn't, because season 2 of nothing has come out yet, so yeah, I'm right. It just really feels like there's been a drought. It feels like there's been, 6 Walking Dead stands with pots and pans just running around in circles being like, yay, Walking Dead! So it's nice that it's coming, that there's a show coming back to kind of rev up all the excitement to get... Ow! It's nice as a show coming back to get me excited enough to break my knuckles off the table. So I'm so excited to have them back on screen, to have characters I love back on screen, and to have a Walking Dead day of the week, to give my fucking week some structure outside of going grocery shopping, which I do once a week. It's the only thing that punctuates the timelessness. Let me know your thoughts on season 2 down in the comments, lads. I did not mean for this video to go on for so long. My good Jesus, when I get talking, there's just no shutting me up. Trying to keep myself on track for interviews is downright impossible. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on season 2. What do you want to see? What do you not want to see? What are your thoughts on Daryl and Carol and that whole situation? Because that is probably the hottest topic surrounding the show at the moment. What they're going to do with their characters, like in terms of endgame or no. You know what I'm saying. Oh, I'm excited to see Isabel. I'm excited to see Laurent. I'm excited to see the new characters that are introduced this season 2, because it's always nice to meet new characters, and the new characters bring such a crazy flavour with them. Like you saw the nightclub in season 1. We're just going straight back into talking, aren't we? I was wrapping up. We're not done yet. Seeing the nightclub in season 1 and seeing like the nightlife and the craziness that you wouldn't expect, that we haven't seen from the Walking Dead universe. See that be explored. That's what new faces and places brings. Good God, come to Ireland, please! For season 3 or 4. I mean, if they're promoting season 3, they're probably filming season like 6 or some shit at the moment. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Patreon, anywhere you can find me is down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon.